Hello, and welcome to another great class. Today, we are going to be talking about lead generation, which is one of the basic fundamentals that every sales agent needs to know. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right in. I want to talk to you first of all about how to generate leads, and of course, some of the ways that we see most commonly leads are generated in real estate. So, to get started, I want to give you a list of some ideas just so you can get your thoughts turning towards what will work best for me. I'm not going to touch on what types of tactics are best for certain personality styles or behavioral styles today, but we are going to cover that in another class, so stay tuned. For now, I want to talk to you about the general ways that we go about prospecting for leads. The first, of course, is typically our sphere of influence. And so when a lot of people get into real estate, they want to start with who do I know? And surprisingly, there are a lot more people that you typically know than you give yourself credit for. So we'll touch on that in a bit. There are also some more direct sales techniques, things like for sale by owner or door knocking, or maybe looking at expired listings and going after those. There are some more warm lead generation tactics that can be used, such as open houses or farming a neighborhood. You can also do personal advertising. And for those that are more social, there's, of course, things like networking or possibly running a client appreciation program, asking for referrals from people you know, and partnering with other networks. So keep in mind that there are a lot of ways you can build your business. And I want you to start thinking about what are the ways that are going to work best for me. It's important that you give yourself enough time. Sometimes we jump into something, try it for a little bit, and then realize that we haven't gotten the results we want. And it's very normal for people to jump back out of that and try something new. The challenge with that is that if you don't track your metrics, you're not going to know if it's working. I recommend you give it at least 6 months to a year before you change tactics. For those of you that have been in the business a while, you may be tracking your numbers and you should know where your leads are coming from. If you know that you are creating a lot of great leads from one source, it might be time to reinvest in that source and to let go of maybe some of the other lead generation tactics that you're using. So, something to keep in mind as you're moving forward. I just want to touch base on a couple of other things that will maybe help you as you're looking at building your business. I am one that has built my business by referral primarily. And so, with that, there are a lot of things that you can do and be thinking about in your marketing plan and in your ability to deepen relationships with clients. If you will invest the time in them, I promise there will be a harvest. So it's really important that you take time to invest well in those clients that you do know, or even just the people in your current sphere of influence. I will tell you, one of the best things you can do is leverage yourself. And by that, I mean, make sure that others are your megaphone in the marketplace. If you're the one voice out there communicating who you are, what you do, what value you bring, that's great, but you're going to have a limited amount of influence. If you multiply that times 100 and you have 100 other people talking about how great you are, what you've done for them, how available you are, how much integrity you have, or what you did to overcome an obstacle for them, that compounds your ability to leverage your sphere of influence and your time. And so you create more opportunities. So I'm going to encourage you to really touch base with all the people you might know. Make sure they know what you're doing and why you're doing it, the heart behind it, and your why, so that they can be out sharing your story as well. And hopefully that leverages you to get more clients. For now, I'm going to talk about a couple of key tactics you can use to stay in touch with the people that you already know. We're going to talk a little bit about how you compound that as well, but I want to touch base on this because I think it's really important for you to see how this can really work and accumulate well. My coach gave me a great acronym and I love it, and so I want to share it with you guys. And it just helps me with understanding all the different ways that I can keep in touch to build those relationships. Then we're going to talk about what relationships we should build. And of course, last, we're going to talk about that leverage factor. So hang tight a minute because this is going to get good. C, the first one is going to be for calls. This should be a natural, but I will tell you, for some reason, a lot of people really struggle with just picking up the phone and touching people with a phone call. It's so funny. We've gotten used to our phones doing a million other things. And one of the statistics I saw recently was, of course, that our phones are least used, about number 9 on the list of items our phones are most used for, calling, which is crazy. But we're often texting, we're surfing the web, we're using apps, we're looking at the time, checking the weather. all these other things. And so I'm going to encourage you to go back to the basics of picking up the phone and calling. You should be calling people at least 2 to 3 times a year, if not more. There are great ways that you can set reminders to call, and we'll talk about a formula for success. But the reasons you should be calling mainly should be things like their home anniversary or their birthday, maybe their wedding anniversary, maybe just to check in and say, hey, I care about you. How are you doing? Those are great options. The next is going to be email. We all know that email is a very common and great way to keep in touch with people, especially if it's something that is different. Most people do not want to receive those real estate newsletters or generic messages. For holidays, we all tend to get swamped with everybody sending out their generic happy whatever it is. And that's fine if you do that, because it is a way to keep top of mind. But what I really want to encourage you to do is think about email as an extension of your personality. It should include something of inspiration or some information, or maybe an invitation. When you mix up your email and it's not just the same static thing over and over again, you'll get a lot better response. One of the things I love doing is sending out questions and starting a conversation. And so if you can create some content that allows you to have a conversation with people, it creates that dialogue that, again, deepens that relationship. The next is going to be M for mail. This one is, again, one of those that I think a lot of people have forgotten about. It tends to be more difficult to do for some who are getting started, to do the design work, the printing, stamping, addressing, all of that. But there are some great companies that will do it for you if you want to delegate that out. If not, I recommend just going back to the basics of a personal note. It is a great way to keep in touch with people. And if you will get in the habit of sending that personal note to them, they will be surprised. I have received calls and texts saying, thank you for receiving a note that I've written to them out of the blue, just to say, hey, I appreciate you in my life. Thank you for what you've done, or who you are. I remember this, and want to let you know I'm wishing you all the best. Those are great ways to just keep in touch through the basic mail service. The next one, events. E is for events. Events can be done in a lot of different ways. They can be very simple, or they can be quite elaborate. It's up to you to decide where you are in your business plan and to determine how you want to leverage events to make an impact. I will tell you, there is something special about gathering a bunch of people together. And what I found is that through that process, not only do I learn how to connect with people better, but I will tell you that when other people get in the room with other clients, they start to get a sense of how big your business is. They start to build confidence. It builds trust. They now recognize, oh, I'm not the only one she's serving. There's a lot of people that she knows and values, and that she takes care of, like me. And so again, it creates that bias for action for those that are in the room, talking about what memories they have or what they experienced. And again, an event is a great way to have a call to action. If you get a bunch of people in the room together, it's an opportunity to maybe announce something new that you're doing. It's a great opportunity to perhaps do a charitable drive and invite people to participate in something that you're excited about, that's your passion project. Or it's just a great event to say thank you and give gratitude to them and make them feel really special for being a part of your client group. So just think about how you can leverage an event, whether it be a small gathering in your home, maybe for dinner, or it's maybe a potluck, or maybe it's something outside, a picnic in the park, or a garage sale event in a specific neighborhood that you sponsor. There are lots of ways you can leverage events. And of course, there are client appreciation parties you can also throw, which can get really creative. You can either rent a venue, or you can host it somewhere where they can come to you. So think about using events in your business and marketing plan to really deepen those relationships and build your database. I often tell people, if they're coming to an event, invite a friend, invite someone who I should meet or know, maybe someone who's thinking about making a move and would like to be introduced to me. It's a great non-threatening way for them to come and see what we do and to experience a little bit of your business before they actually make the decision to work with you. So leverage events. N is for networking. I will say, for most agents, I find that they have missed out on a lot of networking events. For whatever reason, there are very few who will grow their business through a leads or networking group like a BNI or a chamber group. Those kinds of things are great for helping others get familiar with your business and help you grow, because again, they are looking for you to refer business to them. And so they are going to proactively go out and build your business as well by talking about you. That's the benefit of having everybody in a group with a like mind. However, there are networking events that you don't need to belong to a group to attend. So take advantage of that. Maybe do a Google search of your city or your area. Find opportunities where there's a grand opening of a new business, or maybe a networking function that someone is putting on that's sponsored by a company you know or do business with. There are a lot of great opportunities to network also within the real estate industry. You can go to conferences out of state or even out of the country and get to know other people so that they can send referral business your way. Networking is one of the main ways that I've been able to really build my business. And I appreciate having all of these connections because I love being able to help connect people, but I also love being able to send referrals and receive referrals consistently. And it's a great way to have someone else working for my business and leverage my time. The next one is going to be texting. This one we're all very familiar with, I'm sure. But again, I want you to think about texting as both a way to just keep in touch with people, to let them know that you're thinking about them and check in. One of the things I do by text that some people find surprising is I will, when I'm out on a showing in a specific area or neighborhood, I might text someone else who lives in the area and I'll say, "Hey, Sally, I'm driving by your neighborhood to show another client a home. Just was thinking about you. How are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you?" By going out and about in the communities that we work and serve, it's a great way to prompt your mind to maybe reach out to someone that you haven't talked to in a while. And I will say those impromptu text messages are really special for people. They're like very surprised and quite frankly delighted that I reached out and was thinking of them just because I happened to be in the area. So think about that, but you can also strategize your text messages. Think about times or opportunities you have to text people. I would recommend, especially if you want to make a really good impression, to text people before the holidays come and to give them some time to think about your text message and respond. Maybe say, "Hey, Thanksgiving is coming up. Do you have any plans with family?" You know what? If they respond no, that's an opportunity for you to step up and serve them in a unique way. And if they say yes, it's a time you can celebrate with them and say, "That's great. I'm so excited for you. I hope you have a great time." Either way, it starts a conversation and it deepens that relationship because they know you're thinking about them. If all you do is wait till Thanksgiving and send a text that says Happy Thanksgiving, you're again in that mix of 100 messages coming at them on a given day, and it tends to get lost in the noise. So think about how you can stand out with making an impact that's much better. The last one is social. Social is a really important part of our community now. It's a way for us to connect to each other, to see things that we wouldn't have otherwise experienced, and to make impressions with people. Social can be as personable as you want it or as business as you want it. So I want to encourage you to think about your marketing messages and how you want to communicate on social media. For me, I've chosen to do a combination, and I combine my personal and my business, but I generally tend to do more personal than business. I think that's what draws people to us is when they connect with us personally, and that's what social networks were built to be. So I would encourage you, if you're automating social posts or maybe just concentrating on trying to build your business and have forgotten to really show your own personality, your own life, your own hobbies or family or whatnot, get back into sharing more about who you are and what you do and what you love so that people have a good mix of information and they don't feel like you're just constantly regurgitating real estate stuff. I hope this helps you with thinking about ways you can keep in touch. Our goal is, of course, to keep you moving forward in your business and growing. So I want to touch on a couple of other things that may help you. I'm going to give you a little bit of a formula for success, and then we're going to talk about how do we leverage and make sure that we're growing our database, because this is a really important part. The first is to do one time a day, a social post. Whether it's you posting content or sharing content, that's great. You can also go in and comment on someone else's content, especially if it's someone who you respect in the real estate space. That's a great way to comment on what's going on and tie in to what's going on with real estate news, or maybe an interesting question that was shared. I also love commenting on what's happening with my clients or my friends, and making sure they know that I'm not just liking, because they won't know that you did that, but if you comment, they're going to be more connected to you. One time a month, sending out something for marketing, something that again sets you apart from your competition, and shows results, whether that's an open house that you're doing, a listing that's sold, something that maybe your office is doing. Maybe it's a way that you're serving others in charity or volunteerism. Those kinds of things are really helpful. But one time a month, be marketing something proactive. Once a quarter, make sure that you do that phone call. We talked about picking up the phone and making sure that you are connecting with people in a personal way. This is a great way to stay in touch, or to say thank you. So think about both the birthday and the anniversaries, but also think about maybe something unique. If you want to call for a holiday, mix it up. Make sure that you're not calling for the same holiday every year, and give them something to look forward to. Then I recommend at least 2 to 4 times a year writing that handwritten note. You can do that proactively to say, hey, I was thinking about you, just wanted you to know that you're on my mind. Or you can do it reactively after you've had a conversation or a connection with someone. Maybe you saw a great social post and you want to follow up with a personal note and say, hey, I saw you posted about your dog passing away. I am so sorry. Just wanted you to know I'm thinking about you. Those are great ways to, again, follow up and make things more personal, and to stand out, because everybody else is just going to comment on the thread. They're not going to take the time likely to write a note of condolence. So think about ways that you can send a congratulations. Maybe someone's daughter is graduating from college, or maybe someone's getting married in the family. Those are great ways to write personal notes that are meaningful during a time that is going to be emotionally charged for them, and help them retain that memory that you were the one there during that special time. And then last but not least, I recommend 3 times a year, making sure you touch base with your clients in person, whether that's stopping by their house to see them, maybe having them come to a client party or an event that you're putting on. Those are great ways to get out and meet with people. Or my favorite, going to coffee or lunch and having that one-on-one time. If you can make it an effort to do that and build your business one-on-one with people, you will find that you will get a lot more repeat and referral business. And so I hope that you'll take this formula and start to work on it. Give yourself time. It doesn't come easily, but we'll give you some scripts, and I'll make sure that you guys have what you need to be winning in that area. I just want you to be using all of these methodologies to keep in contact with your clients and make sure that you're building rapport. And then I want to show you what happens when you do that. So the first thing that you need to start with is building your database. If you haven't already done that, my recommendation is that you start with at least 100 people. And I know for a lot of people that's difficult. They think, man, I don't know 100 people. I'm new to town, or I've never worked in sales. My friends are not buying. And so I've heard all of the excuses, but I want to encourage you, even if you don't have 100 people right now, make sure that you're working towards that. So think about ways that you can connect with people that maybe aren't in your phone currently. And your database should not be just a list of contacts in your phone. I want to encourage you to put that down in whether it's a spreadsheet or a CRM, but you need to have that organized and separate from just your phone contacts. And then start thinking about, who do you know? Maybe you add relatives to the people that you want to keep in touch and use all these methods for. That's a great way. Maybe you think about other salespeople that you admired or you worked with. Maybe someone who sold you your business cards, or someone who sold you your car. It could be a great salesperson at a local clothing store you shop at. It could be the people who helped you with maybe ordering your glasses or contacts, anything like that that can help you with connecting to other people who have sold things to you. Then it could be also people you meet. A lot of times I ask people, well, have you been to a bank recently? Have you gone to church? Have you gone to a conference? Maybe you attended a class, or you go to a gym or a bakery. All sorts of people we meet, we can exchange cards with or information with, and start to keep in touch. They all need a great realtor. So I want to encourage you to be that person. Introduce yourself, ask them if they have someone that they are already trusting or working with. And if not, ask if you can be that person. Say, I'd love to keep in touch with you and hopefully earn your trust in your business. There's also, of course, lots of other ways with kids, especially you can get involved in school events or sports teams, maybe hobbies that you participate in and you know people through. Think about just all the different people you meet. And if you haven't done so, maybe in the course of a month, track where you go and start to think about how can I add one person from each of these locations or each of these groups to my database. Very quickly, you will start to realize that your sphere of influence is a lot bigger than you think. And hopefully, what it will do is help prompt you to be open-eyed as you go out and about with your business and with your life, and start to recognize that there's opportunity all around you to prospect for people who maybe don't already have a real estate agent they're loyal to. I'm going to talk to you about now what happens next. Once you finally get that database built, how do you grow it and what does it look like to continue to build a thriving business? For most, the first step is, again, getting those clients in order. So we're going to assume starting in your first year that you're going to go out and build that database to 100. It's really important that you start with a great number. If you've got 250, 300, that's fantastic too. If you've got 500 people in your database, maybe you've been around for a while, wonderful. Start to cull down that list if you need to, and make sure that you remove people that shouldn't be getting your time and attention. Maybe they've moved on, maybe they're loyal to someone else or bought or sold a house with another agent. So if you've built up a list over time, don't continue to blindly market to everyone you've ever met. Make sure that you're reviewing and hopefully focusing in on giving your time and energy and investing your dollars into people who are going to drive business back to you. So with that, we're going to start with this first formula, and this is how you expand your business. Year one, we're going to start with our 100 people. Again, I want to encourage you, if you need ideas on how to generate leads, I have a great list of techniques you're welcome to have. It's over 100 ideas to get your wheels turning and help you to expand your business. But I also know if you just follow the formula I gave you, using cements and starting to contact people more consistently, you'll see results and get your database built. Now, we know from a closed transaction that typically you have either one or two parties, sometimes three, involved in the sale. There are also ancillary businesses, and I want to again recommend that you start tapping into those. If you've never thought about your title or your mortgage or maybe your home inspector as someone who could be in your database, it's time to think that way. Again, there's opportunity all around us. And if you ask the question, you might be surprised that they don't actually have another agent who's asked them if they would choose to work with them. And so this is your opportunity to find that out. And you may even decide you want to start looking for other people that you're going to do consistent business with who aren't already loyal to someone else. If you can start funneling business to them and find that they'll be loyal back to you, that's a wonderful reciprocation. With a closed transaction, though, we typically know you can get 1.5 leads from that. And the reason being is that some have couples, so you'll get the sphere of influence from 2 people instead of 1 when that happens. That's a great thing, because typically people who even come into a relationship together have different spheres of influence through their own networks, through their work, through friendships they have before the relationship, all sorts of things. So you get to tap into double the amount of leverage when you work with 2 people. For right now, we're going to make an assumption that you get 1.5. So the way that this works is if you are doing an average of 10 sales a year, which you should be doing, we are going to do that times our 1.5. So we're going to equal 15 new people that are added to our database. As you do this year after year, this is going to expand. Now we have 115 people. We've already increased our sphere of influence quite a bit just in the first year. That's pretty incredible. Think about how you grow your business, though. You should be growing your business year over year, not just basing the sales on the current amount of business you have. So the second year, we're now going to start with 115. Not only do you have more people to be your megaphone in the marketplace and refer you more business, but you should be continuing to improve your own skills in marketing and increasing things. So we're going to assume the second year, you're going to do 20 sales. Again, this is strategic. If you're learning how to grow your business, you should be continuing to increase the number of sales that you do year over year. That means we now have made 30 new clients added to our total. And so we're at 145. You can start to see where this is going. Pretty big now. We've now almost 50% gain just inside of 2 years from where we started. That's huge. And this is the power of leverage. So I want you guys to have a vision for how to grow your business, because the more you do this, the bigger it gets. Keep in mind, your closed transactions are not the only source of business. You should be continually adding to that client database. So even if you don't do 20 sales, let's say you do 10, you still can add 10, 15, 20 people to your database every year fairly easily. And so I want you to be thinking that this is just the bottom of the expectations. You actually have the ability to potentially expand this exponentially if you add to your client database, not just through closed transactions. The next year, we're going to go up to 145. We're going to start with that. And this year, we're going to go up to 30 transactions. Again, strategically, if you're marketing and following these methodologies to keep in touch, to ask for repeat and referral business, it is not uncommon for 10% of your database to give you business. And then you should also be getting additional business from the marketing you're doing outside of your database. So whether that's repeat and referrals coming from your sphere of influence and marketing or open houses or for sale by owners or other things that you're adding to, you should be continuing to expand your business every year. We're going to do the calculation again, and this is now going to go to 45 new people that are going to be added to our database. And now we're up to 190. 190 is a pretty fantastic number, I'll tell you. For those of you that maybe are familiar with Pareto's principle, it's a great way to understand that approximately 20% of your database will give you 80% of your repeat and referral business. And so once you start to hit that 200 number, you now have a really good amount of people who are actively working and promoting your business, compared to maybe sitting there and being aware of you, maybe trusting you and using you when they need you, but not actively promoting. So again, getting to that 200 number is really significant, because if you've got 40 great people that are willing to talk about you, share what you've done, or if they hear someone talking about thinking about moving, they're the ones to say, hey, you've got to call my agent, they're amazing. You want those people working for you so that you create more opportunity. At 190, we're going to again roll this over into year 4, and you can start to see how, as you grow a significant business in real estate, if you're following the principles to expand your database, you're going to have some really great results. Now we're going to be up to 40 transactions. Again, that's based on the fact that you are not only working with more people and keeping in touch, but hopefully you're investing in yourself and your marketing and continue to improve. So I will tell you, maybe you don't have a goal to do that. But again, I go back to the example. If you don't want to sell 40 in a year for some reason, maybe you're trying to slow down, maybe you're maintaining a better life balance, then you will be adding people to your database, not through transactions, but through other methods. Either way, we're now up to 250 for the number of people that we have in our database. How fantastic is that, to go from 100 to 250 inside of 4 years? It doesn't take that long before this snowball effect really picks up. And so I want you to see how this plays out in year 5 and beyond. When you get up here to 250, you then have a lot more activity that's happening. I can just tell you from experience, you tend to have more referrals that come in, you get more networking opportunities, you get introduced to more people, you're doing more sales. So of course you're leveraging more marketing and more open houses, more farming neighborhoods for the listings you have. And so your business really starts to take off and have a life of its own. And you don't have to prime that pump quite so hard as you do in the first couple of years. In the first couple of years, it can be a little more daunting and difficult, but trust me, if you just hang in there, you will see that it will come to fruition. So again, we're going to increase our sales or our people, and we're going to do that one last time, just so that you can see how this plays out. We now have 75 new people we are adding to our database in year 5. And with that, we're starting to look really good, because now we've got over 300 people that have hopefully said, yes, I'm loyal to you. I will do my business with you. I will refer you, and I will help you grow. And that is a really wonderful thing when you've got that many people helping you become the agent that you want to become. I hope this helps you guys with seeing how building a database is fairly simple if you just follow a consistent marketing plan to keep in touch, and you do it in a way that's personal and caring, and not just do blind marketing for your entire marketing efforts. And then as you start to really organize your database, ask people to do business with you, ask people if they will cheer you on and support you in your business growth. And as you do that, it significantly grows over time. And then you have a great sphere of influence to, again, host those events or to do greater initiatives. And when you have people behind you, you can accomplish really great things with a great team. So think about how to grow your business in much more substantial ways by just starting small. Start to think about who you can call, who you can text, who you can keep in touch with this week. And I'm going to give you a quick challenge because I think this is important. I'm going to start with one challenge for you on social media. I want you to do 15 days of gratitude. Think about things that you appreciate, whether it's a client, a referral, a testimonial, maybe something that you're doing outside of real estate, something that you're thankful for, that you get time off to be with your family, or that you get to go on a trip, whatever it is. But people love and are attracted to people who are grateful. So think about how you can post something of gratitude for the next 15 days and just start thinking through what that looks like, and then respond to everybody who comments on it. You'll start to see and notice that there's a theme there. And it's really fun to see what other people are grateful for when they start to respond. The next is I'm going to challenge you to do a video every day for the next 5 days. I know video isn't everybody's thing, but it doesn't have to be on social. So let me set the story straight. When I talk about doing video, I mean just picking up your phone, giving someone a quick message via text or email that you have video recorded that says, "Hey, I'm thinking about you. Just wanted to say hello, and I hope all is well." When you do that and send it out, it makes a different impression than a text or an email, because they see your face, they see your expressions, they hear your tone, they sense your energy. And I'm telling you, you will get a much better response. In fact, a lot of people who I send videos to via text or email, they are so surprised. They're like, "Wow, how did you do that? That was great. I've never seen that before." We aren't used to communicating that way yet, but I'm telling you, if you will get ahead of the curve and send some videos to some people, it will make a positive impression. So think about 5 people you want to send a video to in the next 5 days, and just make a contact. And then last, I want you to plan 10 lunch or coffee dates with people that you think are going to support you in your business. Now that you have your database built of 100 people, you should be able to find 10 that you would love to go take out to lunch and talk about what's going on in their world, and then share what's happening in yours and what your goals are for the year or for next year as you're looking at building your business. And then ask them, well, are you one that will be a support to me? It's okay to make sure that they're on board, and that they are trusting you to handle their business and refer you to their friends and family. So think about taking 10 people out to lunch or coffee and having that personal one-on-one connection time. So that's your challenges. You've got 3 of them right now. I want you to do 15 days of gratitude, posting that out on social, talking about things that you love, things that you're grateful for, and showing your appreciation to people, and it will make a positive impact on the world. Secondly, I want you to do videos. I want you to think about 1 video a day to someone that you care about, that you can just check in with, or send an inspiring or an encouraging message to. And I promise you it will make a better impression than a text or an email. And then the third is to plan some one-on-ones, 10 of them to be exact. If you can fit it into the next 2 months or 3 months, that would be great. The sooner you can get that done, the sooner you'll start to see the results of people wanting to support you and your business, because you took the time to invest in them and to really show them that you care. So I hope this helps you with your lead generation activities. Of course, if you have any other questions, let me know. I'm here to help in any way I can. Take care.